Today, I think it's time we talked about Satan, who seems to have appeared in the recent Helluva trailer. I want to talk about his relationship with Lucifer, who is supposed to be the leader of the deadly sins, but who is presented in Hazbin Hotel as something of a good guy compared to the perhaps more evil sins and other royals. My name is Deepcut, demons call me ImpCut. Did you know that only 0.001% of our viewers are subscribed? Look at this graph created by Blitz, doesn't it seem real? Subscribe to change the statistics. Now, for the normies watching, Satan and Lucifer may seem like different names for the same figure we all know as the devil. While many traditions paint them as essentially the same figure, other traditions within Christianity have Lucifer and Satan as separate entities. The key inspiration for this in the Helluverse came from the Peter Binsfeld classification of demons from the 16th century. Peter Binsfeld was a theologian known for torturing supposed witches, with this list being what he claims is the royal hierarchy of hell based on those witches' confessions. This was extremely similar to other lists that popped up in the centuries prior, however, such as the Lantern of Light, which has many of the same names, just in different orders in relation to the 7 sins. This 7-sin structure is how we arrived with the hierarchy we have in the show, with Lucifer being what we think of as the ultimate devil figure, the king of all of hell, and Satan being at best a second-in-command who rules the rings below him. Beelzebub is also a name often associated with Satan and Lucifer, leading to the three of them being considered an unholy trinity to parallel the Holy Trinity when not being considered just one devil figure. It makes sense then that Beelzebub would be ruler of the third ring down in hell, just after Satan, and despite her party girl lifestyle, she may be one of the most powerful entities in hell after Lucifer's family and Satan. Now, the 7 sins are complex characters. They represent sins, but they weren't born with that as some sort of responsibility, it would seem. Lucifer himself was an angel in heaven first, and as far as we know, this association with pride is more so a title attached to him for his seeming prideful attempt to go past the other angels and corrupt the humans. This corruption, however, was not an evil intention the way we tend to think of it in mainstream Christianity. In the show, Lucifer is instead portrayed as loving creation and wanting it to be a celebration. Whatever the fruit of forbidden knowledge actually did, the intent seemed to be to set humans free from certain limits that the creator angels like Sarah had put in place. Traditionally, Satan and really all of the elite demons are fallen angels who rebelled from heaven alongside Lucifer, but we don't know if that's the case within the show. Thanks to the Patreon, VivziePop and series writer Adam Nalen are able to answer some questions about the show more directly, and they even give permission to share these fun facts in videos like these. And from that, last time I asked them, they weren't sure if Satan and the other sins were going to be fallen angels like Lucifer or natural entities in hell yet. This sort of detail seems unnecessary for the 2 stories of Hazbin Hotel and Helluva to play out, at least with how far the stories had been developed so far, so this question is able to remain unanswered in the show. At some point, the plot may necessitate it being revealed that they are one or the other, but right now we don't really know if they're going to be fallen angels or just natural-born demons. They could have been banished from heaven like Lucifer, but regardless of if that is the case or if they just spawned in hell's creation, the other royals seem to be noticeably different from Lucifer, perhaps more evil. Mammon, of course, appears to be outright evil, having no care for anyone around him or even himself really, just caring about material wealth and immediate pleasures he is able to purchase because of it. Mammon represents the sin of greed, and his ring almost seems like a sort of prison farm for him, a place where he is left to mine his own people to extract the ring for wealth, where he won't interfere with the other princes who have perhaps more noble intents like Lucifer. Asmodeus on the surface seems like a great guy, and seems to provide one of the highest qualities of life for the citizens of his ring. The Lust ring isn't as nice as the Sloth ring perhaps, and who knows how nice the Envy ring might end up being, but he does seem to care for his people and just wants to make them all as well off as possible while spreading pleasure in various forms in hell. However, Asmodeus is also known for his work influencing the earth with his native species, the succubus. For this, his people have the easiest access to the human realm, with Osmodian crystals being used to travel to the earth and give his succubus human disguises. As seen in episode 3 of season 1, this is done so that they can spread lust among the humans. Now, Asmodeus also likes spreading lust in hell, and there it seems to be a good thing, but on Earth, this seems to be purposely done to corrupt the humans. Lucifer's corruption of humans was with the intent that they would have some sort of positive benefit, but Asmodeus seems to be doing this as part of some larger plan we've seen in hell to conquer the Earth. Lucifer's choice to give humans the fruit of forbidden knowledge is said to be what opened hell itself, what opened the possibility of this realm being able to interfere with the Earth even. Whether they were once angels or just natives to hell, the other royals outside of Lucifer seem more intent on continuing to interfere with the Earth, and it's strange that nothing is being done to stop this as far as we've seen. The annual extermination is focused entirely on the sinners to stop them from rising up against heaven, but Asmodeus seems to be just one piece in a larger game that is trying to conquer the Earth. Stolas as a Goetia also seems involved with this, and in fact, it would seem like the Goetia are more focused on this than the Seven Princes, with Mammon perhaps not being involved with this at all. Stolas was born essentially to fulfill a role that Paimon had planned for him, one involving the study of the stars to uncover their prophecies surrounding the Earth. In real life, these prophecies are the ones that surround the final battles of the end times found in the mythic texts throughout history, ones often told with astral symbolism. All of this indicates that, like in our real-life mythology, there is a prophesied final battle between heaven and hell coming, but the angels seem to be letting the demons run their course while focusing on the potential effects of the sinners to such an extreme degree. Now, the power of prophecy is a really interesting deep dive real-life lore video I need to do for you all at some point, but that's not what we're here for today. The point here is that there seems to be a large network of demons trying to do harm to the Earth, and Lucifer does not seem to be involved with that, and in fact seems to be letting it happen to some degree. He seems to have been a pretty obedient cinnamon roll once he was tossed into hell, with the only thing that really matters to him being his daughter Charlie. Satan, on the other hand, is theorized to be giving warlike missions to the imps of his ring up on Earth. This is because Millie's parents talk about loving war and seemingly missing it, with Blitz's name reminding them of war. This appears to be a nod to the term Blitzkrieg, used to describe a German warfare tactic during World War II. This tiny reference led to a lot of fans thinking that it meant that imps had been influencing wars on Earth as part of missions set up by Satan, with freelance work being something of a rarity that the imps don't understand. Satan isn't just the Prince of Wrath, but in the Christian tradition, he is also seen as the General of Hell, the leader of its military, with Lucifer being seen as more of a political leader who stays in hell. Within the show, however, Lucifer is something of a good guy as we've explored, with Satan aligning more so with the actions of the Goetia. This could explain why he seems to appear in the trailer at the same event that the Goetia and Mammon are appearing, seemingly at Lucifer's castle based on the apple and serpent imagery that we see there. All of this points to there being some sort of event that all of the royals must attend, with a lot of people saying that it looks kind of like a demonic version of Heaven's courtroom from Hazbin Hotel. Lucifer was sent to hell as a punishment, but not because they thought he was uncontrollable. From what we can tell, he was very easily controlled with the threat of his own death, as well as that of his daughter, and he wasn't out to take down heaven as a whole or anything like that when he gave the fruit of forbidden knowledge to Adam and Eve. I'd like to imagine that Lucifer is essentially a middleman for heaven, meant to control not just the people, but even the other demons to some degree, though his power does actually seem limited towards them. Lucifer may use this annual event to try and negotiate options that stop the spread of demonic plans up on Earth, but I think the real leader here is going to be revealed to be Satan. Satan is what we think of as a more common name for the devil, and with Lucifer being the good guy essentially, it makes sense that he would become the ultimate evil ruling in hell. Not more powerful or primordial than the essence of evil itself, as seen in Hazbin Hotel's first episode of course, and not outranking Lucifer, but the de facto leader of the Seven Sins and Goetia, with Lucifer being almost something of an opponent to them and their goals. Lucifer doesn't even care for sinners because of how they abuse the power of free will, and I can't imagine he finds the other sins to be particularly good company. With Mammon in particular, Lucifer seems to have a rivalry of sorts, with Mammon ripping off Lucifer's theme park Lulu World with his own Lulu Land in the Greed Ring. Lucifer apparently tried to sue Mammon over this in the courts of hell, perhaps the same court we're seeing in this trailer, but at the end of the day, Lucifer lost and Mammon is able to continue, and this might be the same pattern we see for the evil plans of the other princes and the Goetia. Lucifer here appears to be the odd one out, and while he may have the angelic power to absolutely devastate the other sins, for some reason, he and the angels above him in heaven do not do this. And I think Satan thus is going to be presented as someone who the sins in Goetia all look at as the real authority on their matters, the sin who will continue to push the agenda of conquering the world while Lucifer does his best to slow them down. In the trailer, Satan seems to be calling someone a disgrace, and it's believed that he will be weighing in either on Stolas' scandals or those of Asmodeus. But if we're going to get answers or clarifications on any of this, it's going to be by the end of this season, whenever this interesting episode with all of these royals is going to take place. In the meantime, what do you guys think? And if you love indie animation and demons, check out the breakdown we did for a new show called House on the Outlands. It's a micro series with episodes shorter than 2 minutes, but it tells a compelling story with interesting little puzzle pieces. I'll include a link to my breakdown of the show for those curious about it, as well as the first episode of the series itself for those who want to just jump in without spoilers. See you guys next time.